You are watching Area DMG.
Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Philip Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to do a game-worthy review of Yakuza Kiwami. Kiwami means extreme, and this game brings that extreme to a grand, well, it's on the PlayStation 4. It's quite a bit cheaper than Yakuza 0 because this is a remake of Yakuza that was on the PlayStation 2, which I never played. I actually have not played Yakuza 0. I haven't played any of the Yakuza games before this one. Sega was kind enough to provide a review copy of this game, and that was my first exposure to this game. I was supposed to have this review out a little bit ago. I'm a little late on the review, but oh my god, I had no idea. Best way to describe Yakuza is a mix of Grand Theft Auto with a little bit more reservation to it and a more set theme. Written by, the story in Yakuza Kiwami is kind of amazing. Well, not kind of amazing, it is amazing. The first two Yakuza games were written by a guy that does crime drama type novels in Japan, like Yakuza drama. This guy's, it's like getting, say, Clive Cussler, I think, to write your. I'm trying to think of somebody who's pretty good at like westerns or whatnot, and is still alive. And no, anyways, just think like, let's pretend for a moment that you were making a horror game, and you got a scenario writer. Let's say you got your scenario writers as Stephen King or R.L. Stine. Let's say you got R.L. Stine to write your horror game scenarios. That's what they kind of got for this. They got this guy, I don't remember his name, but it's some type of author out of Japan who does Yakuza books. So they got this guy to write the story for this thing. Well, golly, where to begin? Okay, first thing to begin, what type of game is Yakuza Kiwami? Well, the basic flow of Yakuza Kiwami is that you wander around a city area and you collect stuff, you level up a bit, you get into little fights and such. The combat is really well done, I think. It makes me think of a bit, it's a really good beat 'em up type stuff with a little bit of interesting combos and just really interesting combat. You have the ability to switch between 4 different styles, and you can level those up, etc. Think kind of like an RPG with physical combat that you, similar to like, I'm going to look at it this way. Yakuza Kiwami is kind of an open world RPG, sort of, with a kind of a gritty crime drama feel to it. So if you've seen like Infernal Affairs or Ichi the Killer or things like that, then you kind of know a little bit of where they're going with Yakuza. Kind of a little bit of just the feel of it. The combat, like I mentioned before, is kind of it's combo based, and you have like multiple groups, and you can piece together some great combos and dodge things. Actually, if you're going to survive, you have to learn to dodge attacks from your enemies. So it's a little bit kind of like a fighting game mixed with you go around the town and you do all sorts of stuff like I said, eating at restaurants, going to like hostess bars, collecting little things, doing little side quests and little things where you can unlock other stuff depending on your choices. You level up a bit. There's some interesting stuff that you can do. But the story is the real meat to Yakuza Kiwami. Aside from the little mini games and such, there is a 13-chapter fantastic story. Some of the story beats you can kind of see coming, and then some of them you're like, I know kind of where this is going, and oh god, I hope it goes there because it's awesome. Also, there's a character in here that like, the characters in Yakuza Kiwami are fantastic. I love all the characters in this game, even the characters that are supposed to be like antagonists or bad. They're great. There's this one character who shows up randomly to attack you in this game as part of a feature, and he is fantastic. He's a guy with an eye patch. If you're watching this, if you're not listening to this, and you're just watching it, the footage we've got in the back is just bowling. It's from the bowling 2-player game that you can play in Yakuza Kiwami, which I was just like, bowling, darts, pool? Yeah, I'll play this. Yeah, this sounds good. There is so much to do in this game. So much to level up, so much to do. It's a great game in that regard. I guess the best genre thing to compare it to would be like, say, Grand Theft Auto. But I kind of feel that, unlike Grand Theft Auto, this one has a more tight, compact story. And I care more about the characters in this than I do about Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto doesn't always have like really good story to it. You don't always like the characters, but with Yakuza Kiwami, I like these characters. The graphics are really fantastic considering this is just a remake of an older game. We've got some real uncanny valley stuff going on with some of these characters, but other than that, it is fantastic. I kind of wish it had English voice acting, but unfortunately, it doesn't, but it's got subtitles and it feels like I'm watching a great gangster movie or Yakuza movie, and that makes me happy. Overall, I've had a lot of fun with this game. I'm not actually done with the game yet. I still have a few chapters left to go, but I am so hyped already for Yakuza Kiwami 2, and I need to go buy Yakuza 0 almost immediately after I finish this game. Because seriously, I had no idea these games were this good. The fighting feels fantastic. There is a chapter where you end up fighting a long stream of succession fights. Oh, by the way, you move around kind of like a 3D space and stuff. You've seen the gameplay footage from our previous thing, where we showed like the first 20 to 30 minutes of the game. This is more just, I'm going to tell you what I think of it. The music is amazing. The game's atmosphere is fantastic. The detail in the graphics is great. The sense of just being in this lively little city, running around bumping into people. But just like everything about this game works. I really like it. If I were to say there's some flaws to it, yeah, there are. You are kind of confined through the majority of these chapters into a tight space. I feel like sometimes you just kind of wander until you find an objective. I mean, there is a thing that you can follow for your main objective for the story, and that's okay. I feel like the AI. When I was playing through it at the beginning, I had it on like a lower difficulty. I'm gonna play through it again on a higher difficulty because I'd rather the enemies all come at me at once. Just kind of like, okay, you know what? The combat is fantastic. I just want to be even better at it, and I want it to be even meaner to me. It's one of those things where like, oh, I'm playing on the easy mode for the storyline, and realizing I really should play it on the harder mode because I want the fighting to be a bit more brutal. By the way, some of the stuff in there is pretty brutal. Kiwami means extreme, and they remind you of that because there are some finishing type moves that are just like, ooh, yike. Some things I really love, in the combat sequence, you can pick up stuff around you. So it's a fun little game, kind of grounded somewhat in a realistic setting, but then again, you're in combat and you're picking up a motorcycle and swinging it at people, and I'm like, yes! It's just what I want from this kind of game. I love it. It's fantastic. If I were going to say there are some flaws here, just some general stuff with I feel they could simplify the combat just a little bit and make the combo system a little bit the combo system, I mean, it's fine, but I feel there could be some more revision to it. Some of the stuff that, like, when you level up, you collect like these little combo points or some type of points that allow you to every couple thousand of those you can upgrade your combat wheels. So you can upgrade your health, how long it takes you to get into overdrive type mode, things like that. You can add more skills and stuff to it, and these skill wheels are pretty good. I just feel that they really should allow you to rebalance those a little bit easier. Like, I look through there, I'm like, maybe I don't really want to go on this path. I'd like to more easily change that. Also, I feel that, like, the game really just needs a little bit more to it. I guess the closest thing you could compare this to, besides a Grand Theft Auto, would be like a Shenmue. But Shenmue was fun for all of its little collectibles that have no purpose of existing. As far as I can tell, and I haven't found this, but in Yakuza you can't own a cat or like own puppies. You're kind of petting the puppies to level up, unlike say Shenmue. But yeah, actually, unlike Shenmue, the story in Yakuza is great. But yeah, I really liked this game. If I were giving it a numerical score, which I am, I think I would give it I'm going to give it an 80 out of 100. I'm knocking off quite a bit of points because, one, it's only 13 chapters. Many of these chapters are very short. Sometimes, well, the game has some fairly meaty collectibles and stuff. You don't really have to deal with those. And it's kind of like, I kind of feel that parts of it just feel a little bit more rushed than they should. There's a part with a little bit of stealth to it, which I felt was kind of it's kind of Some of the areas are just like, oh, I guess the best way to explain this would be, one of the problems with the game is that there are bits and pieces of the storyline which are essentially fetch quests. In, I would say, the first chapter or so, there's a section where the main character's like, oh, I have a thing. Oh, I lost the thing. Now I need to go find the person that has the thing. Okay, that person that has the thing left to another person. Then track down the person that has the thing again. Oh, gotta track them over here again. Finally, I've caught up to them like for the third time, and now I get to fight them. Oh, they don't have the thing. This other person has the thing. Okay, so I have to go to. It's essentially like, okay, I gotta go from point A to B to C to D to E to F G to etc. etc. And those little sections are just like, why am I doing that? I really would just like to not do the majority of that. That feels like padding and buffer. And parts that feel like they're buffer or padding for this game are why I knocked it down about 20 points. However, I've heard that Yakuza 2 is even better than Yakuza 1, so oh my gosh, the fact that they announced Yakuza Kiwami 2, we'll probably get that next year. As soon as I can pre-order that, I am just thrilled with this game. But I'm giving it only 80 out of 100. What do you think about of the Yakuza series? Have you played any of these? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit that share button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Oh, and by the way, if you hit that subscribe button, make sure that you ring that little bell so that you will be notified whenever we have a brand new video here on Area DMG. And until the next video comes out, you are now caught up.